I think when we sort of sit down and have time to think about a 5 or 10-year plan, I think me being an engineer, I like to look at what kinds of products we'll be labeling in 10 years. And we're looking at, we tried to complete our suite of home bathroom products this year. And we're looking at outside products, irrigation controllers. But we try and have a really full pipeline of products for WaterSense. So we're also looking at water softeners. We're looking at RO systems, food disposal systems for commercial buildings, commercial toilets, those kinds of things. But we'd like to see WaterSense, I think we've been really surprised. Like you said, I've been at the WaterSense program since it started. And I guess, it was a little bit surprising to us when we realized how much market share we've been gaining in terms of the products that are existing now. When we started the program, we were told by other market transformation programs that if you get 10% market share, you're really, really doing a good job. And we reached 10% market share we blew past 10% market share on some of our products almost in the first year. So I think there was a lot of pent-up demand by consumers. There was pent-up innovation in manufacturers that was looking for a way to sort of express itself in the marketplace. And I think we've been seeing a lot of that. And I think what we would like to be working on is, new products, but I think we're going to have to be revising some of our specifications because I think we're leaping past 50% market share in some of our products this year. And so I think we're going to continue to need to work with manufacturers on setting new standards, new performance criteria for our products, and just trying to keep ahead of the marketplace because I think there's a lot of demand for the products that we've been labeling.
Do you have goals in terms of metrics, water saved by WaterSense in 5 years, or?
Yeah. No, we don't set our metrics in terms of the water savings. I think if you try to measure, I think last year we saved 9 billion gallons of water with all of our products. And I think that when you look at the total water use in the United States, that's a really small fraction of water in terms of the national water usage. But we do try and get information from our utility partners about water savings that they have and the impact that they might see in a smaller region from using WaterSense products. But I think we basically try and set our goals for the whole program in terms of how much awareness consumers have of our brand, what the manufacturers are doing in terms of outreach, who they're contacting, how many partners we have, and the activities of our partners. And I think that's where we end up setting our goals. From a technical perspective, we basically set goals for products, and I hope Jim's still not here, but we basically have
It's on YouTube, don't forget.
Oh, that's right.
Jim's always looking at YouTube, right?
Right, that's right, he does. But it's really hard to set goals for when products are going to come out and how fast we're going to be able to move in terms of product development. And I think I have a reputation with my team of being very fudgy and vague about when new product categories are going to come out. And that's only because we do so much of our work in collaboration with industry that it's really hard to say what we're going to find when we decide, this product, it looks like it's good when we do our initial research. We find that there's maybe the test method isn't what we thought it was going to be, and we want to try and revise that. We find that maybe there's a problem with the way the product interacts with the system when we look at the efficiency level that we might have initially thought of. And then we find that there's a lot of issues with packaging and labeling of stuff for consumers. And so, it's for us to set goals, we have to sort of work through all of those issues sort of as they come up and over time. And sometimes that just takes a little longer than we thought. But generally, we try and get about 2 products to emerge from the system every year. So.
Thank you. I am going to move down the panel, but I have one more question. I think it might be helpful at this point if you would describe the certification process.
Yeah.
Your relationship with the manufacturers, your relationship with your certifiers. how a product gets WaterSense label?
Okay, well, WaterSense labels its products very differently from our big sister program, the Energy Star program. I mean, most people, like Jim brought it up, they've had some issues, but I think for us, the issue came up for us is how we were going to certify products when we had a very small budget and a very small staff. So basically, I am the technical department of WaterSense, and my colleague Kim Wagner and I are basically all the technical staff that WaterSense program has. And we had to sort of figure out how to do all of this work and have a lot of credibility and rigor to the certification system when we had very little time and money in order to run the program. So what we did was we talked to our sister federal agency, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and they spent a lot of time working with us on looking at different ways we could go about providing the label to consumers and what some of our options were in terms of resource uses and integrity of the program and simplicity for the manufacturers that would be making products with the label on it. So basically what WaterSense has now is a fully accredited third-party certification system that's based on the ISO standards for third-party certification of products. So we have 3 US-based accreditation bodies. We have ANSI, A2LA, and IAS services that audit our certification bodies, and we have between 7 and 8 certifying bodies that they go out and assess for competence in certifying products. And so those organizations basically apply to WaterSense and to ANSI for accreditation to certify various product categories. And when ANSI goes out and says to us, yes, this organization is competent in this area, then they can sign a licensing agreement with the agency and become a WaterSense certifying body. And so we have, IAPMO R&T is one of our certifiers, and there's, like I said, 7 others. And then basically IAPMO R&T, in this case, would go out and they would, manufacturers would go to one of the certifying bodies, and they would say, we have these products that we want to certify to the WaterSense label. And then IAPMO or one of the certifying bodies would test the products and make sure that the labeling is correct and make sure that it's supposed to get the label. And then they keep a list of all the products and the model numbers and the private labelers and the international manufacturers of those products for WaterSense, and then the product can get the WaterSense label. And they get that directly from the certifying body, and then the manufacturer would then notify us that the product has been certified. And so then it appears on the WaterSense homepage that says that this is a WaterSense labeled product. And then we, together with the certifying bodies and all of our partners, basically police the label in the marketplace. So we tried to set up the program to be as simple for manufacturers as possible and set it up basically the way their products are already certified for all the other standards that affect those products in the marketplace, so that they could get the WaterSense label at the same time they were getting their ASME standards testing done, and it would just be sort of like one more link in the chain and not a completely separate government process for them to certify their products.
I think Stephanie left out one really important component of that process, and that's stakeholder involvement, which they are a very small team, but they do an exceptional job at making sure that anybody that has comments or input or information to go into a process has the opportunity to access that process. So if you feel like you don't know what's going on in WaterSense, I think all you need to do is get connected so that you're getting those emails about stakeholder events, about draft specifications, draft testing processes. They do a terrific job at that. I always tell them that if for some reason they do get the kind of money Energy Star gets, that I hope they'll still stay connected with the people, because they are just a very small team. They've come an incredible distance, and I think they've done that in partnership with everybody that's interested in this issue.